All right. Good morning. Today we have Naiyana Williams, and I'm so happy to have you on. I am wearing this beautiful shirt that says Black Tech Matters. This
Yes,
is one of Naiyana's creations, and then it also has Team Black Tech. And so I'm representing today.
I
Thank
know.
you. Thank you for the shirt. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to come up with your t-shirt line, where people can pick up their own t-shirt if they would like?
Yeah, so pretty much at the beginning of my transition into tech, I was really observant, right? And just paying attention to who were the thought leaders, what conversations are being had. We all know that Twitter is like the place to be regarding any conversations in tech, right? And I just started seeing a pattern of folks like recruiters, speakers really complaining about the lack of representation, and that when they're getting ready for these conferences or even in their Zoom calls, they weren't really finding, any product, any apparel that they could wear to rep, especially in these spaces where we're pushing diversity, equity, and inclusion heavy, right? And so I think my marketing mind kind of stepped in and I was like, I saw the need. I did my research. The market was wide open for it. And, I've got a little flavor myself. So I was like, let's create a space for us. Let's design some things for us. So I launched Black Tech Tees. And that lovely shirt that you're wearing is our statement tee, just plainly stating Black Tech Matters, because there are folks, unfortunately, that like to question the validity and the importance of Black folk really breaking into this space. So I just wanted to promote the visibility and voice and celebrate contributors to Black tech, whether you be C-suite or you're a student in a boot camp just getting started.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. That is wonderful. I'm glad to have. I'm happy to be able to have some t-shirts from you to wear on my new YouTube channel. So yes, it definitely has filled a need for me.
Awesome.
But we didn't give you a proper introduction, Nayana. So just tell the people all about yourself. And, you are more than a t-shirt designer helping
Yes.
with pushing this Black tech mission. But tell us, what are you doing in tech?
So I am a UX designer. I say I wear two hats. So my base is writing. So I'm always a writer first, um, copywriting, but in the UX space that has translated into UX writing. But my primary role in tech is UX designer. And, you know, making that transition, this is not my first career, right? I'm late 20s and have spent time in marketing and communications. I studied public relations in college, graphic design. So I feel like I've always been kind of tech adjacent. And I'd say within the past 2 years, I've really stepped into this role as a UX designer.
Awesome. So tell us more about what really pushed you to go from tech adjacent to full head on into the tech space.
You know, COVID, this pandemic, I mean, it's been awful, right? A lot of people have suffered, whether whether you contracted the virus or, lost loved ones. Like it's been a rough time, right? Like, I mean, our sense of normalcy was completely stripped from us. But I will tell you, Dominique, the best thing to come out of this pandemic was this career shift for me. So initially, it was a move out of necessity, just to be completely real with you. Because with me being a marketing consultant, that was the first thing to get cut. When COVID hit and companies had to shut down or pivot to, figure out how to occupy this digital space, I mean, everyone was in a frenzy. We hadn't seen anything like this in our lifetime. So the first thing to get cut was marketing budgets. So that impacted me. That there went my job. I went from being gainfully employed to filling out unemployment. And I know here in Kentucky, that was a disaster. So I immediately was kind of thrown into like this survival mode. And a few months in to COVID, I think that's when your high level tech companies they started responding and seeing just like how many of us were impacted, especially especially people of color, disproportionately impacted by COVID. And, people started throwing dollars out like, here's scholarship, here, you can go through this program, learn these skills. And I actually started off in front end web development. And I learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I was like, okay, I've got it down. I can do this. But the passion wasn't there, and I'm just that kind of girl. I really got to be invested into my work. And it was from that opportunity that someone in my class actually told me about the Microsoft Future of Work initiative. And I was able to complete a UX program through General Assembly to no charge of my own. And that just blew it wide open for me because I immediately saw where my skills could transfer. And it really helped for me to have that marketing base. And I was just like, oh, this makes sense. Okay. And I'm here.
Awesome. So we're so glad that you found your love in UX. What are you most proud of at this point in your career? Like, what has been your greatest achievement thus far? I know you have many more to come, but what are you most proud of right now?
Let me think, because I'm still green in the transition. I would say I would say I just completed an apprenticeship. I was picked up by a design agency for a UX, really a UI apprenticeship to really sharpen um, my visual design skills. Because all of the things that come before that actual product design, like the research and the strategy and all of those things, I can really talk my talk when it comes to that. Just considering my background. But I was picked up by this design agency, and I don't even know if it's something that I can toot my own horn about, but it's definitely something worth celebrating because I didn't apply for the role. Someone found me. And I was sitting over here feeling inadequate, feeling like, oh, I'm not ready, feeling like, oh, I need more time, or I have to put more into this. I need more projects in my portfolio. We all know the pain of getting that portfolio right, and it was just very special to me that without me going after something specific, that someone out there saw me and saw my portfolio and contacted me. And so being able to have that experience, to be trained up and to really just have the opportunity to be paid to learn, to be paid to really sharpen myself in the areas that I feel like I was most vulnerable in, I think that has been a monumental moment for me so far.
Awesome. And I hear the imposter syndrome coming through. I know we all experience that.
Girl,
Have
don't we?
there, have there been any setbacks or challenges in your journey to tech?
I think my biggest challenge was really sacrificing the time, right? To pivot, to make a career shift. Um, it took a toll on me mentally and emotionally in a way that I didn't even consider was possible. Just the unlearning and going from what I say, going from rank to rookie, right? Because in the marketing space, my resume is loaded. I can talk my talk. I have the awards. I have um, the financial portfolio for the dollars that I've brought into different organizations. So my confidence was built there. And then making this transition into a space where it's like, okay, you know a little bit, but there's so much more. And so I had to really consider um I had to consider I had to consider the transition and really had to pour into myself to say like, "Hey, I know this is a lot. This is new, but you belong here. There's space for you." And to really just honestly lay my pride aside, right? Cuz it's like, "Oh, okay. I'm the student now." And it's cool. I mean, always a student of life, right? A student of the game forever. But when you're in a space where it's like everything is new, you know? So that was a challenge, and then like I said, just really sacrificing the time because I am a working mother. I'm a single mother. I have a very active 8-year-old. So I'm managing his schedule with sports and all the activities he's in, as well as working just to function day to day. And then, you know, I'm burning the midnight oil, sitting here studying all of this UX stuff. And there were times where I was tired and just feeling overextended. But really making a personal commitment to myself, knowing that it wasn't always going to be like that, but I had to give it time.
I love how you also talked about um, we belong here, and you talked in the beginning about there's definitely in the tech industry there's some inequities. There's some representation that's not there, and how important the Black tech representation is. What would you say to those who are underrepresented, such as Black women, Black men, other women in general? What would you say to them? What advice would you give to them? How can we keep them motivated to stay on their tech journey? What would be your words of advice?
My first word is that Black man, Black woman, you are brilliant. What you do in your sleep, what you create without any effort is top tier. So just imagine how much you can fuel that by pressing toward the mark and continuing on. Also, know who you are because this world will tell you everything you are and everything you are not. You have to be very careful about who you listen to and what you take in because it shapes your experience. It shapes your ability to process. It shapes your ability to create. And lastly, I would say we set the trend. We are the influence. It comes naturally. Just let it flow.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Naiyana Williams, how can people get connected with you, follow you? How can they again drop the t-shirt? What give us all the information so that they can connect with you, and tell us also before you leave, what are you most excited about that's coming down the line for yourself?
Okay. How to connect with me? I'm on LinkedIn, Naiyana Williams. That's Naiyana Williams. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. My handle is at Nay _ Everything is spelled traditionally. Nay is Nay. And then the shirts. Listen, I want to dress you, right? We got outside is opening back up. We have conferences, we have meetups, and we work from home, okay? We still have these meets, these Zoom calls, these Teams calls. And just as lovely as you look, Dominique, in this Black Tech Matters shirt, I'm trying to see all of us out here representing. So shirts are available at blacktechtees.com. And would you say what I'm excited about coming up? I am excited about, I can't give all the details right now, but I'm excited about securing another tech bag, a big tech bag. And I'm excited about returning to school in the fall. I'm excited about that. I decided to go the digital media design route and really just get a bit more that these boot camps don't necessarily offer. So I'm excited about that.
Awesome. Well, we are definitely uh, going to keep an eye out for more T-shirts and also to see how you make even a bigger impact in tech. But you're already doing it. Thank you so much for all that you're doing. Just you being successful is just helping to create the path for someone else. So
Oh, I love it. Yes, thank you.
kudos to you. And thank you, Naiyana, for spending just a little bit of your time today to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.